And welcome in to Two Guys Down 200 Pounds, where we're going to tell you what worked for us and what didn't, and even give you a few sports takes. I'm Brian, and this is Brandon. We're going to jump right in it. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to Quincy last week. Brandon, I thought that was a great episode, and even during the episode, off air, just a great conversation with Quincy.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun last week. I think we had a little bit of a technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Just like me speaking right there. But first 25 minutes we had a little computer crash out, and then we rolled right back into it. If y'all can notice the difference, we did upgrade our equipment, but that was a pretty awesome, sweet deal, dude. I think I don't even know that I laughed that hard.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of moments of laughing, and some of them, problem is that some of them didn't even get caught because of our issues. But hanging out with Quincy for, I'm not even sure how long we were there, but I know we recorded for an hour, but we sat there and talked, and even with Niblet Photography, talked with him. That was cool with having him and Quincy there. A lot of good laughs.
Yeah, it was really awesome I feel like our first big podcast with somebody pretty big.
Yeah, and then real quick, I wanted to touch. So we're going to start recording these via video. So going to go on YouTube, and y'all can see our ugly faces via YouTube if you want.
And of course, that comes with ups and downs too of us. We may run into some issues. This is our first time trying it as well. So not only are we learning how to do a podcast, now we got to learn how to record a podcast at the same time. So there's going to be some bumps in the roads that come with that.
Seems like every week we're figuring something out, something video, something audio, something
buying something new.
Yeah, something every week. But we'll jump into this episode, titled "Invisible to Noticeable." And it's, I think that title is a little, maybe for some people, they're wondering what that means. And it's not necessarily invisible, because I think, Brandon, being a big fat guy, you're not invisible.
we're far, or we were and still are far from invisible.
But that's not the invisible that we're going for here, right? Like, people definitely see you, no doubt about it. But I think that once you start hard work and getting into it, I think people at the gym, people in your circle, family, everybody starts to notice a little more. And then those people turn into, as a big guy, kind of job-wise, right? We'll go right into jobs, because I know I've experienced it, being a big guy trying to get a job, and I know you've experienced it as well.
Yeah, so for me, job-wise, I mean, dude, there was one point in time, I think I went a whole week of interviews. I mean, I literally took like a week off to interview at all these jobs, weighing 389 going into these job interviews. And I felt like I had the best interviews out of probably any interviews I've ever had. And then I didn't get a single phone call back. And I mean, you're talking like I literally had like 5 interviews. There were some I've even had 2 interviews in a single day.
Yeah.
And had some of the best interviews, and nobody, called me back, much less send me an email telling me I didn't get the job. But, and as a big person, as 389, I literally, like, when I'm sitting in a job interview, like, there was times where I was like, I know they see me as a fat, lazy person, but I'm far from being a fat, lazy person. And literally in the interview, I would tell them, like, hey, I know I'm a big dude, but I can work.
Still hard work. Yeah, and interview too. You go, you get dressed up, right? Wearing a button up, a jacket, whatever, button up shirt, jacket, whatever you may want to do. And then you sit down, and the buttons are busting.
If they're not busted, they're you got that button up shirt, they're hanging on for for their lives.
Yeah, screaming. They're screaming at you. If they could talk, they'd be screaming at you.
They would be.
But it's all those little things because prior to graduated college, got the degree, and I'm thinking, man, this is gonna be easy.
That's all you needed was the degree.
That's all I needed was a degree. And I got a job, but getting the initial job right out of college to me wasn't that big of a deal because it was more of an entry level job. But trying to get promoted was when I thought that I was like, because it was a sales and marketing thing where I'm out in the field and selling and then
Seeing people.
and seeing and representing the company. And I personally don't think that it's kind of hard to put in words. When I'm there, I'm the same as you. I felt like the interview went great. I don't know what they were thinking. The person interviewing me, I'm not sure what they were thinking. I don't know how they would have thought, but I think they go to, what's this guy going to look like in the field? Right? What's he, this 400 and almost 500-pound dude coming in, big, fat, sweating, lazy? Well, how's he going to represent the company? And I thought that I got passed over, for promotions that I think I probably should have had.
And so, it's simple. So they see it as, for instance, you're in a sales position. So you're talking to people about selling the product, and your appearance to them isn't up to par.
Yeah.
So they're like, nah, we leave them at an entry level position. We don't have to worry about this big fat dude coming in selling our products and probably getting turned down or thinking they're going to get turned down, even though, I feel like me and you both have great personalities that we can get past that, right? Like you can look past our bodies and know we have great personalities and could sell a product.
Yeah, but I think the problem is sales, in my opinion. And I think what other people think about is sales is the initial impression. It's not like, okay, if I can hang out with you for 30 minutes and we can talk, then I can probably sell you. But if I go right in and they're going off the initial impression,
Yeah.
and they see me and they're judging, because we talked about in the past, people do judge. There's no doubt about that. Their first impression is not good, the sale's probably not going to happen. But if you gave me time, like you said, I can work you past the big dude.
Yeah.
I can work you, talk to you about football, kids, your sports, whatever you want to talk.
I can talk to you like I'm skinny.
Yeah.
But going off of that is, so actually, so finally I had an interview in the same field that I was doing. And for y'all don't know, I work in turf care. So the current company I work for is called Hybrid Turf Care. There's no knock on Hybrid or the owner or the people I interviewed with. But when I first interviewed with the guy, I had a good interview. Once again, I thought I had the best interview. We went, sat down at Starbucks. We talked. I left this dude, got my shoe size, everything he needed for the job. A shirt size too. A shirt size too, which back then was like a 4X. So he was probably like, I can't make those. You might have to bring your own shirt in and BYOS. Not your own shirt. So I didn't hear from the dude from a week. And the dude asked me for everything I needed. And I thought me and this dude, we were on a personal level. We really hit it off. I really thought this dude was going to hire me. Well, he reaches back to me. Some things fell through. He ended up going with somebody that was internal, which is fine, which was great.
Yeah.
But it was, to me, I was back to square one. I was this big dude, but he was like, hey, when we get around our busy season, just keep me in mind or whatever. So we get to the busy season. I get this text from Hybrid. And they're like, hey, we'd love for you to come in for another interview. Let's sit down and talk. And I was skeptical about going because I kind of got turned down in the beginning from the get-go. So I was like, is it really even worth my time? So I sat down with him and he offered me the job at $389.
Mm-hmm.
And I start working for him, and I'm putting up great numbers for the work. And one day I literally sat down and I asked him, I said, you can be honest with me, dude. I was like, it's not a big deal to me. I'm working here. You seen that now, now I'm a good worker. Um, was it because I was fat? And he was like, no, Brandon, it wasn't because you're fat. And I was like, look, dude, you don't have to lie to me. Like I was like, you can be honest. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And he was like, you know what, Brandon? He goes, I'm being 100% honest with you. It was because you were a big dude, and I didn't think you could put up the production that these other guys put up, which was understandable. I was 389. You see a 389.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think your line of work is different than my line of work, even now, because I think you're going into turf care where, in the beginning, you're walking around, you're spraying lawns. Like, how long is this dude going to be able to last?
Yeah,
Right. He has to look at that, where I'm doing, office stuff and a little bit out in the field. If you are out in the field all the time
yeah,
in 100-degree heat.
yeah, for everything. I mean, the job, almost 100% of the job is required to be outside.
Yeah,
And I'm just walking. I mean, I think I posted things that I do about 4 or 5 miles a day walking, and you would think being 389 pounds, like you would lose weight.
yeah, but and for those that don't know, I feel like Brady's done turf care for a long time, not just spraying. He
8 years.
Yeah, cutting grass. You worked, you were doing all that. So I need you to work, but when you come into a company and they need somebody who's going to work, and you come in at 400 pounds, my initial reaction is going to be like, this ain't my guy.
No, and it's like he said, he thought I was going to come in and do half the work that the other guys do, and little did he know, I actually was a top performer. But it's initial look at this guy and being like, dude, can he do it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, for me and as an employer, even looking back now, and I tell them all the time, like, if I seen me walking through the doors, dude, I would have said the same thing. I would have probably been like, no, dude, try again another day.
And you're right about that. But as being big, like when I was interviewing and you were interviewing when we were big, like I even told my wife, and I'm sure, because me and Brandon were going through the same thing at the same time. So being that big at the time, I didn't really understand it. I'm like, I had a great interview. I work hard. Why am I not getting these jobs? And once you lose the weight, then I reverse it. Then I reverse my thinking. I'm like, well, God, yeah, I wouldn't hire Brandon's big butt either. you know?
No, and I wouldn't, looking back on it, like I said, I judge people too, but at the same time, back then when I was 389 looking to better myself or get with a better company, I was just, all I kept saying was, I just need a chance, man. Just give me that chance. And it's just unfair for big people because there is other big people out there that's like us that just need the chance and they just don't get the chance because they're big and and they're great people and they're great workers and they don't get the opportunity because they're big. And that's how I felt was, I just need that chance.
Well, because I think big people, whatever you can call them, big people, fat people, whatever, they're all clumped into one segment. They're all lazy.
Yeah.
They're all fat. And they're not going to work hard. That's just what it is. Whether it's true or not, that's what everybody thinks. I mean, at least that's what I feel, or at least that's what I got the impression of going through interviews,
Yeah.
and doing things.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That's exactly how I felt. I kept telling my wife, I was like, dude, they just ain't hiring me because I'm fat. I'm having good interviews.
Yeah.
And just wasn't getting hired. And at the end of the day, I just needed a chance. I just needed somebody to take a chance on me. And believe it or not, so Hybrid did end up taking a chance on me. And now all of them have been on this health journey with me before I was fat and now, and they've been my biggest supporters from the get-go. And probably even happier because now they're probably getting even a better Brandon version than what he initially got when he hired me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And that, talking about jobs and things like that, one thing that actually, little quick story here. I was talking I was at work on Friday, and my boss, the owner of the company, he was talking about. He was asking me about losing weight, and the little story is he offered me a cookie, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want a cookie. And he's like, oh, you know, whatever, no big deal. He always tries to give me something. I'm like, you know, your fat butt wanting that cookie. And I told him, I was like, I just don't, I try to be strict because, like, we've talked in the past, right? Like, I don't want to go down that road. Food is an act, as a food addict, because that's what I'll say I am. I just don't want to take one cookie and then they leave a box of cookies, right? And then next thing I know, I done ate 12 cookies.
Yeah.
So
nobody else in the warehouse was going to get it.
That's right. So I'm good. But I told him, he was asking me about weight loss, and I'm tying this into clothing stores. And I was like, man, my goal is just to be able to go to a clothing store, whether it's Nike or Under Armour or Kohl's, and just be able to go on the shelf and buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Because I typically go in the stores and I can't look. The only thing I can buy from the store is a shoe.
Well, even that, yo, big old shoes, you wearing size what, 14, 15? That's already hard enough.
Yeah. But clothes is the bigger problem.
Yeah.
I can find the 14 or 13, whatever it is. I can find that. But you can't go into, Dick's Sporting Goods and get a 4X.
I mean, what's this store I used to go in?
DXL.
Yeah, DXL off Bear Parkway, and you got to drive an hour to go down there and do it. You can't even just roll down the Kohl's to get a shirt. And I mean, just getting, I don't even want to say a normal size shirt, but I mean, even 3X in a store is still hard to find.
It's hard to come by.
And even if it even fits you right.
Yeah.
Like, all the different clothing is all different sizes.
Yeah, but I was telling him that, kind of off subject there, but I was just telling him, like, skinny people don't have to worry about that, right? They don't have to worry about that. I go into the clothing store, even a Kohl's, who does have some bigger sizes, but it's just not. Their sizes are a little bit different, and it's just not. And I don't think they quite get it. I walk into a store and I'm invisible, because I can't fit into anything. So I might as well not even go. That the employees aren't going to come and ask me, because they know dang well.
You don't need that. We ain't got your size here.
What are you even doing here?
I'll be laugh at you when you stop up telling and ask them.
Yeah. But that's just the clothes thing, because I bought, all my clothes in the past. I'm going to Amazon or DXL. I got to buy them. I can't just walk into a store. Well, I got to buy them online.
Well, which is, going back to a story for work. So we get work clothes at work, and he had to buy a completely different design for me at Forex, because they didn't carry the same thing for when most of the dudes are wearing 2X or HORs or medium.
Yeah.
Like, he had to, it was a whole new design just for my shirt. I was the only one in the company. And it's like, hey, I'm right here. I'm the fat guy with the different type of clothes. And it does. And it makes you feel, certain type.
And Braden's at that. And it's been, look, we're being honest. It's been a long freaking time since I've been able to go into the store and buy a shirt. I'm not far from it. I'll get there. But the day that I go into some sports store and buy a 2X, there'll probably be a social media post, man. That's how happy I'll be.
I finally hit that a few months ago or 6 months ago, and actually able to walk in a store and actually get a 2X, because that's what I'm currently in, is 2X. I don't know that I'll ever even get down past the 2X, but it is nice now to go into the store and actually find a shirt.
Yeah. So that was
pants.
Pants too. But little off topic there. But back to the invisible. People asking for advice, right? And me and Brandon will tell you this. We've said it every episode, probably. Like, we're no experts, but believe it or not, people do ask for advice. Once they see that you drop weight, they want to know what you're doing. They want to know how we're doing it. Where you're going to the gym, what you're eating. They want to know everything. And it's not, skinny people ain't asking for it. It's mellow and big people. asking for advice. But I think when you're not doing anything, you're not going to the gym, that's when the invisible comes in, right? Nobody asks you anything. They don't want to talk to you about it. But when they see the progress, that's when they start coming.
And they start seeing you being disciplined in the gym and they see you on a regular schedule. That's how I feel like with people in general is when we're talking about what we do for working out and everything, and people start asking, which nobody ever did when, especially now when I was super fat. When I first started at the gym, nobody asked me anything.
I mean, nobody would probably barely talk to you.
No, I mean, why would they? I mean, I I'm not going to go to a fat person asking for advice. I mean, no offense, Ron, but that's like me coming to you before we started this. It's like, hey man, how can I lose weight? But you start whatever 489, 407, whatever your weight was like, why am I going to come to you and ask you how to get right?
Yeah. No, and I wouldn't either. And I think that goes into, our next whole thing is people respecting you more, because I think whether or not skinny people want to admit it or not, we come into the gym initially, nobody's talking to you. We just said that, but they start to notice you're in there. Oh man, this dude's Brandon's been in this gym for 4 weeks in a row, 6 days a week. They start to pick up on it. Then they see a little bit of weight loss. Then all of a sudden they're talking to you. They're talking to you, and you went from invisible to noticeable to them, right? Because they didn't say a word to you in the beginning. They didn't care because they didn't think you were going to last more than 3 freaking days out of gym.
I was that new year, new you type deal. But yeah, and now when people see my Anytime Fitness posted my before and after pictures,
Yeah.
and people started coming up, was like, dude, I didn't realize that was you. What are you doing? And then I go through my spiel, but the same thing like I tell you and I tell everybody else is whatever worked for me. I'm not telling you it's going to work for you, but I can guide you to what I did to maybe help you.
Yeah, because we haven't dove into it deep, but me and Brandon do things differently, and that's what I tell people when they ask me. I can tell you what worked for me, but it may not work for you. You may have to figure something else out for you, whether it's eating or working out or whatever you want to do. But I just think once people see you putting in the hard work, that's when they want to know what's going on, especially big people, because they want to lose the weight. But I think the skinny people, that's when they notice. That's when they really, you're on notice to them. Because our next topic we wanted to talk about was do people respect discipline more? And I think that's where it all falls in.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the discipline for anything at work, when people see me being disciplined, working out, and seeing me get skinny now they see me as a better worker. So now, they look at me different. As once you come back to saying noticeable in the gym, people that didn't talk to me at first now notices me. Why? Because they respect me and they see me in the gym. I've now been at the same gym. I haven't, unless I go on vacation, I haven't missed a week in the gym since I started. And I think I'm a year, maybe a year and a half in now. I haven't missed a week. And those people see me in there and they see me working. And so they respect me. And they see me losing the weight. But at the same time, they might not. A lot of people, same as you, they don't really see it until I show them a picture, because same thing as you. They see me every day.
Yeah.
The same people I see in the gym, I see every day. And I'm working out. There's sometimes I'm working out 6 days a week, and those people are in there just as much as I am. But and now people are actually coming up to me that are working out, asking me how to do things in the gym.
Yeah.
And I still think I'm the last person you want to ask on how to do things in the gym, because I'm still trying to learn.
Yeah, but they've just seen you in there so much that they think, whether right or wrong, but they think that, man, this dude's been here. I've seen him in here longer than I've been in here, right? He's been in here every day since I've been in here. He's got to know something.
Got to know something, right?
Yeah, got to know something. And even, and I know the burn, we talked about it's a little different, but I started the week Quincy came on, right? We were even, matter of fact, the week before that, we were talking about me trying to get to the 5 a.m. class. And I just, man,
Why ain't gonna happen?
I just couldn't do it. And then the burn by the new work got a noonie class. So, I can go on lunch break and go hit it. And the first few days, they may not want to admit it, but the trainers in there, people in there, it's different when you first come in, right? And then I showed up for first week. I went all 5 days, right? Nobody knows you. But then I went last week and I went, 3 of 5 days. And I got more people high-fiving, and the trainers know my name. But I'm saying now they see that I've been 8 days in 2 weeks or 9 days in 2 weeks. Like, man, this dude's
showing up.
A little more discipline
and a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
Get a few more high fives in there than you were getting. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 right there because nobody knew you, but they were seeing this big dude. Like, man, forget this dude.
Yeah, he ain't going to be here but a few days anyways.
Yeah.
Now that I've shown up.
We appreciate the money.
Yeah. Now that I've shown up, now them trainers owe me like white on rice. They know my name. I hear it over the intercom.
Hopefully they listen to our podcast and even more on you because I know you talk about them.
Yeah, because the one thing, it's wild, Brain. The one thing I say about burn is the moment you want to take a breath, like just catch your breath for a second, man. I'm just going to take a 5-second break. The moment I put my hands on my knees, Brian, let's get going. We got to get moving. No breaks, all the way to 0, and at the moment you think you're taking a break, you can't. But I just think that showing up, people notice. You go from invisible to noticeable. It's not.
And then the same thing with, when you start losing weight too, when people start seeing you losing weight, the more and more you're losing, the more and more respect you're getting out in the world.
Yeah. And I don't, you're talking about your gym doing the before and after. Braden's a little further down than me. And I don't mind the before and after, but I still got a ways to go. So when I do my before and after, I want it to be 489 to 289.
Yeah.
I want it to be a little bit,
which your before and afters are still pretty noticeable to this day.
Oh yeah, no, they're it's no doubt about that. They're definitely noticeable.
You could be a train. You could post a picture and know, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So now we're getting to the overrated, underrated segment brought to you by Power Washing by Chris. Anything you need power wash, fence, driveway, house. I think they'll even get up there and do your gutters if you need them to. I'm not going to do that, but I recommend me and Chris to get out there and do your gutters, but give a call. We post them on our social media where you can find his phone number, but just get on there and you can find his number. Let's start with the first question, Brian. This is Brian's. I didn't even want this on the list, but this is Brian's fact one right here for you. Oatmeal pies.
Well, with that introduction, I think my answer is obvious. I think oatmeal pies are underrated. They are freaking awesome. Matter of fact, the Taco Mac. Anytime the kid gets a kid meal, and no, I don't listen.
He takes all his kids out where just his kids meal. He takes all the oatmeal pies from Taco Mac.
I don't
drink oatmeal pies at Taco Mac if you got a kid.
Kids' meals come to oatmeal pies. Take likes oatmeal pies. Most of my kids like oatmeal pies. I don't steal theirs, but I do request from the waiter, waitress, whoever it is, to always bring, hey man, slide me a couple of oatmeal pies. So
that's a fat person failure right there.
So definitely underrated for me.
Oatmeal pies, honestly, I'm not that big on oatmeal pies. Now, like Brian says, if you take me down to Taco Mac, supposedly they're different. I don't know this. Brian says they're different. But oatmeal pies, I'll take one from Taco Mac. But oatmeal pies, overrated, terrible. Overrated, great. Next one we got, Loaded Teas. If you ever been to a nutrition place here, we have Dockside Nutrition, which is a great place. I spend probably majority of my paycheck there. I spend about a good amount of time because it's on my way home. But Dockside does loaded teas and shakes, and overrated, underrated on loaded teas. Brian's never had one. Dockside sent us home with a kit this weekend, and so for Brian to try. And so, what do you think about your loaded tea, Brian?
So initially, my initial thought was, overrated. Loaded tea. I don't need another drink. But actually, sister-in-law goes to Dockside now too because of Brandon and this whole thing. And she got one. We went on the boat. I had a little quick sip. It was good. But then Brandon brought this, and we got this one this weekend. Mix it up, got it going. Definitely underrated. This one right here, I could probably drink 5 tonight if I had to.
Now, I'll say I haven't been to many, but Dockside, I mean, I can only say they make the best. And I mean, dude, it's got energy in it. It's got aloe. It's got, I mean, essentially a pre-workout before you go to the gym. And that's why I stop by there, is because I get one before I go to the gym.
Yeah.
But man, they're good. And for me, it's definitely underrated 110%.
Yeah. But you can also get protein in them and different things. But this one that Brandon brought, I mean, we were, talking about the show. Brandon was like, man, you got to stop drinking this thing or we never have no more left.
I made it before the show, and the next minute I know it was halfway gone. And I'm like, you can't even have one even really tasted. But we do, for recording purposes too, we have one live for Brian to try. So definitely underrated for me. Next one we have is instant replay for Major League. I'm only talking about balls and strikes.
Yeah, I personally think it's underrated just because I like it. I like it. I think that you got some close pitches, out of the zone or in the zone, that were a strike that they call a ball, or vice versa, a ball. A ball that was called a strike. Batter, catcher, whoever wants to tap their helmet, get a review. I just want the call right. Doesn't matter to me how it gets right, but I want the call right. If the pitcher threw a strike, he should be credited for a strike. I wish, Brandon, honestly, sometimes I wish there was a little instant replay in 10-year travel baseball. I could have used it a few times today.
Dude, that's an awful take. Instant replay for balls and strikes. I can get, if you want outs and saves, I get that. Balls and strikes. I mean, we might as well not even have umpires back there. Why don't we just go umpireless at this point? I mean, a simple fact is umpires make the game, and it's kind of crazy that you're even siding with that, because me and you were both umpires, and I feel like we were part of the game. Now, I'm not saying part of the game where I'm taking sides or I'm the show of the game, but no, part of it is if you miss calling a strike, it is what it is. I mean, there's a reason why Bobby Cox got thrown out 162 games. And if we had replay back then, Bobby Cox would never got thrown out. And I think it's part of the game, and we need it. We need umpires. We don't need if you want to do it, let's do it in the playoffs, like where it really matters. But in season, come on, man. I mean, we just need to have computers out there all day. We don't even need to be paying for them. What's the point of the umpires if we're just going to have something to go behind them all the time?
Well, because I think you got everybody wants every call right. Like you want if it's 3-2 count and Matt Olson takes a ball and they call a strike and then we lose the game.
Hey, what do you always, if it's close, what?
It's swing. Got to swing. But those dudes are different, man. They know the strike zone. I mean, how many calls have we seen?
If it's that close and an umpire's calling it a strike, you should have been swinging.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, but I still think
if you want to say something crazy because of a strike and it was over his thing, yeah, whatever. But dude, if it's close, you should be hacking anyways. Why do I need a machine to tell you need to be swinging? You shouldn't be watching that third strike.
Agree to disagree. I guess so. Agree to disagree.
All right, so the next one is me and Ryan are real big into fantasy football. And so we recently just started fantasy football punishments. Overrated, under.
My initial is underrated because I do last place. Because typically, what happens is if you do fantasy, right, some dude goes, or girl, doesn't have to be a dude because there's girls who play fantasy football. Um, they'll go 0-5, and then they never change their lineup, right? They don't pick up anybody, they don't add nobody. And then people in the league are texting them, hey, pick somebody up. Like, get your quarterback's been out for the season for 3 weeks and he's still your quarterback. So they give up. And I think the end of, the end of season punishment, if you've gotten dead last, makes you keep up a little more because you don't want that punishment. So I would say underrated.
I'm underrated as well, but it gets kind of overrated to me because this football league we're in, and he's a listener named Chris. He's still yet to do his punishment, and we're in Jan. When did our league finish?
November.
So he's just going to choose when he does the punishment, and never do it. At this point, I'm not even sure he's going to do it.
I'm not sure he's going to do it either. And his is not that bad. And that's when we talk about overrated, underrated. Like some of these dudes who
sit at Waffle House, got to eat a waffle, take an hour off. You're talking 24 hours.
Or a tattoo. Some people get some little dumb tattoo or something. Like I'm not doing a tattoo. I'm not going that far. But Chris, and I know he's going to hear this. Chris has got to get his butt out there. And if you ever go down, I don't know when he's going to do it. Make him a shout out on the podcast when he actually sends us a date. But if you see him standing on Bear Park with a sign that says "I suck at fantasy football," that's our guy.
Hey, get a picture, tag us on socials because, my God, we want it. But at some point in time, this dude's supposed to be standing on Bear Parkway with a sign that says "I suck at fantasy football." And honestly, at this point, I hope he does it in some busy time.
Yeah.
When Barrett Parkway is packed.
I was hoping he's going to do it around Christmas. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Chris, get your butt on Barrett Parkway and let's get this punishment going.
So underrated.
Underrated.
All right. Back to working out. Leg day, Brian.
Leg day. This is I don't even know that I can give a real true answer because I want to say overrated because I hate leg day. I do hate leg day, but I know you got to do it. You got to do it because it's a lot of muscles in your legs. You can get strong, your legs can get strong, and you don't want to be that guy with the big upper body, no legs that you bend over to pick up a piece of trash and you done fell and hit your face on the concrete.
I know we have to do leg day, but I still say it's overrated to the max. Dude, I hate the soreness from leg day. And when I do leg day, to be honest, and some of the guys at the gym listen to me on here, and I'll be 100% honest, and they know, and I know that I do lightweight for a high amount of reps because that's how much I hate leg day. Like, you're not going to catch me going in there trying to squat 600 pounds. I hate squats.
Yeah. I mean, Brendan he don't even know, but when he said I do leg day, that's leg day, and you got to take a dump. Sitting down on the toilet is not fun. It's not.
Isn't it trying to go outside and work?
It's terrible.
It's not fun. It's overrated. If I could go without doing leg days, I would. Overrated.
It's overrated. I'm there with you, even though I need to.
Back to working out again. The saying "no days off" is it overrated, underrated?
So when I first, and we'll talk about this later on. The short answer is I would say no days off is overrated because I think you do need days off. When I lost some weight initially, then I hurt my back. I was going hardcore, 7 days a week, no days, and I got burnt out in 2 months. And now I've changed things up this go round. Back's gotten better, but you gotta have a couple of days. I'm good. I know you may want to go 6. I'm good with 5 days a week. If I can go to the gym 5 days a week, I'm solid. I still try not to eat bad on the weekends, super bad, but working out, I got to try to go 5 days a week.
So I do typically work out 6 days a week, but the saying no days off, I love the saying no days off because honestly, no days off, it keeps me accountable. I know I get in there every day. I do miss one day. I mean, it all depends on your goals and what you're doing. I mean, and some days, I may go lighter on a day because, I do try to give some things rest, but no days off, I think it's underrated.
Yeah, but also to elaborate a little more, I think that a day off can be, if you got a Sunday off, you don't go to the gym, but you go and you take a walk, for a mile or 2 miles. It may not be a big, strong workout, but you're still up and moving. So no days off. Yes, I think you do need days off, but still be a little active. Still be moving around. Don't just take a day off and just sit on the couch.
And that's how I am. My no days off is even if I do take breaks, usually I'm doing some type of cardio.
Yeah.
So it's not really, full no day off. I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do a little quick, just a real quick couple of sports things that we want to talk about. Braves today, first team to hit 40 wins. Dude, they're on fire. They're on fire, and the
Tuna's on fire.
and the video that I posted is starting to come back and bite me in the butt because
Which is good.
yeah, I wanted it to happen because when I made the video, I did think that, Cunha was overrated, and we'll see how it plays out. But dude's hit like 4 home runs in 5 games, the last 5.
Lead off batter too. He had a grand slam. I mean, dude's rocking it right now.
Yeah, he's doing great. The moment that the Braves, in my opinion, the moment that the Braves get everybody healthy, pitchers, get Baldwin back, get everybody healthy, it's going to be dangerous.
Oh, it is.
It's going to be dangerous. It's already dangerous. It's dangerous now, but I hope that it gets a little bit better, and I think it will. But it'll make for a fun run, down in August, September. Once we start making that postseason push, it'll make it real fun. But a little hot topic recently. It's been going on for a while now, but James Pierce Jr. with the Falcons. Just give a little take on what you think, Brandon.
Well, I first originally, because I'm not about domestic violence. So my first initial reaction was, dude, it doesn't matter what he did, how good of a football player he is, get him off the field, get him out of Atlanta, let's ship him off somewhere. Now, I mean, we're paying the dude on the football aspect of it, looking on the other side of it, we have a pick, we picked first round, we gave up the pick for him. I mean, dude might as well just get out there and do the job. I mean, can we ask for forgiveness? Can he ask for forgiveness to keep him on the field and maybe he still produce? That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, everybody deserves second chances, right? Maybe, just maybe he can do the right thing and turn things around and we can get him back on the field because we need him and we gave up the pick for him.
I mean, you definitely need him. And I remember when the story first came out, Brandon was, get rid of this dude, get rid of this dude. We got to get rid of this dude. And I kind of look at it as from a sports thing because for whatever reason, sports trumps a lot. Like if you're a BA on the sports field, the football field, the baseball field, people will overlook a lot. And I think that's in this case. Like he did some back, and I hope he does get better. Right? He's doing this whole thing for over a year, and I hope he does get better. But I think from a sports perspective, most people don't care.
Yeah.
Most people bypass that because they want him on the football field. They want those 9-10 sacks a year.
Well, and don't get it twisted though. I mean, we don't condone domestic violence with any, with your wife, not with or anything by any means.
No, not at all. But not at all.
As a football aspect of it,
Yeah, I'm
on the field and producing is what we need.
Yeah, and not even necessarily what we need. I'm talking about the general sports public will say, If he's cleared by the police, if he's cleared, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, let's let him on the field. And I know there's going to be people on the other side of that who, like you initially, and probably still a little bit now, I mean, like, man, let's get rid of this dude. I mean,
Yeah, because I mean, again, at the end of the day, is you don't want the dude to do it again, and you're like, dude, all right, he deserves a second chance, and he goes out there and does it again when you're already feeling iffy in the beginning.
yeah, and I mean, I'm right there. My only thing is I know that I do want him on the field, but part of me is also like, man, let's just move on from it. Let's move on from it. But I also, too, a lot of people have gotten second chances. If he does what he's supposed to do and he gets right, I mean, who am I to say you can't play football?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But that will conclude our show. Once again, follow us on all social media: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We do a lot of videos. We do a lot of overrated, underrated. I do a lot of the overrated, underrated. Brian will get in there every once in a while. He gets a little busy on the weekends, but I particularly do it towards the end of the week. But besides that, also, we ask if you could please follow us on whatever platform you listen on and rate us. Rating us and following us will push us to anybody new and help our podcast grow.
Until next time,
See you.